A couple of days ago, the US President Donald Trump asked European countries to impose huge sanctions against India. He wanted European countries to impose sanctions similar to the 50% tariff he imposed on Indian imports. The European countries have not responded yet. What might have made Trump to make such a request? Most probably, he might have realized that the 50% tariff he imposed on Indian goods has not rattled Indian economy. Now he wants to increase the pressure. That is why he is seeking the help of his European friends. He has a pretext, which is it is India that is funding Russia's war against Ukraine. But that is far from truth. For example, China is the largest importer of crude oil from Russia. Similarly, Europe is the largest importer of natural gas from Russia. Trump knows that. The real reason could be something else. The real reason, it seems, he wants to decelerate India's growth. He wants India to contract. Why? This is the biggest market in the world. If India is self sufficient, if Make in India progresses, then to whom the US and Europe will sell their goods? Now, the reason is clear. They don't want India to progress. But the most relevant question is, will Europe obey the orders of Donald Trump? What are the three biggest economies of Europe? They are Germany, United Kingdom, and France. Are they in a condition to impose sanctions against India? Or do they want more trade with India? Will India get frightened if Trump says so? We need to analyze the economic situation in Europe also. Welcome to Insights. I am Hari Kumar. Let's start with analyzing the big economies of Europe. Actually, Germany has been facing a recession during the last 2 years, and the country is expected to continue to experience recession this year also. So, in that case, for continuously for 3 years, Germany will be going through recession. That's not good. What are the difficulties being faced by Germany? I said about recession already. Industrial output is falling. There is huge unemployment. There is declining export. In the automobile sector, for which Germany is famous, they are unable to face competition from China. This is a truth. Then there is problem with energy also. They are not producing enough energy. They are importing energy. That is why they import natural gas from Russia. Now there is another problem for Europe with an aging population. There is lack of competitiveness. So these are all big problems for which they don't have an answer. Now actually US is trying to woo investors from Germany to United States. If you look at the trade between US and Germany, it is around 288 billion US dollars, far higher than the trade between India and United States. But the problem is that Germany is having a surplus. So there is problem between Germany and the United States also on the trade front. Now because of Trump's tariffs, Germany is already facing problems. Now their exports to the United States will get affected. Will they be able to impose sanctions against India? Absolutely not. They actually want to increase trade with India. And now they are trying to get the contract of 6 or 7 submarines which India is going to build. The German company ThyssenKrupp is trying their level best to get the contract jointly with Mazagon Dock Company of India. So that is the situation. It is very unlikely that they are going to obey Trump's orders. Actually, they want more trade with India. Look at France. What is the situation of French economy? Germany is already in a perfect storm. France is not much different, but a slightly better. They are not facing contraction. Actually, France is growing at a nominal pace. This is the situation. The problem with France is the high amount they spend on social securities. It is said that for when they spend every $4, $1 is being spent for social security schemes. Uh, Almost 58%, 57% of their revenues are spent on social security schemes. This is the condition. They have very little to spend on, infrastructure. Just 11 euros in every 1,000 euro is spent for infrastructure. The spending on pension is very high. That is 253 euros per 1,000 euro. So this is the situation. They grew just 0.94% in 2023. In 2024, they grew by 1.1%. And this year, current year, they are expected to grow just 0.6%. Their national debt is 114% of the GDP, and budget deficit is 5.8% of GDP. They can't afford to, begin a trade war with India. France is also expecting more contracts from India for Rafale jets, for submarines, etc. Actually, it was India's demand or import of Rafale fighter jets that revived the company. So France cannot even think of imposing sanctions against India. When it comes to UK, the situation is not different. UK economy is expected to grow by just 0.9% this year. In 2023, they grew by just 0.4%. In 2024, they grew by 0.9%. This year, they are expected to grow by just 0.7%. UK's national debt, is 104% of GDP. So, see, the economy is not thriving in any of these three big European countries. They actually want big trade pacts with India. The UK has already signed a free trade agreement with India. When Boris Johnson became the Prime Minister of UK, he was banking his hopes on, signing a free trade agreement with India to revive his economy. France has always been helpful to India on defense matters. They don't want to antagonize India. They have even stopped selling defense equipment to Pakistan on India's request. So this is the situation. Now, however hard Donald Trump tries, Europe is not going to obey his orders. Now the competition is between Europe and the US, to enter into a free trade agreement with India. Because Europe has realized that US is their biggest enemy. Actually, Euro and US dollar are competing with each other. They are not friends. Europe is not a rich continent as people might be tempted to think. These are all stark realities. It's unlikely that Trump's dream of Europe emulating his example will materialize. Actually, Trump wants to decelerate growth of India, as I said initially. Only then he can, expect to sell inferior US products to India. US also lacks competitiveness. So this is the situation now with India, China, Russia, Brazil, Japan all coming together. The West is going to find it very difficult to, obey orders of Trump. His intransigent stand may last for 6 to 1 year. after that, Trump will face difficulties from his own decision. His own sanctions are going to backfire. So that is the stark reality. Whether you like or not, this is the reality. I hope Trump is going to realize this very soon. I will be back with updates. Till then, goodbye.